like he was describing how it was so absurd. Like, how can this human being who always acts very tiny and wimpy become so professional and is calling the shots and is giving people orders over there? Like he stood at the doorway for 10 minutes wondering, who the hell is this person in my house?
Anyway.
Mother ni Jehovah. No.
Why?
The conditions for this response are very clear. I need a month and a year.
Yeah,
or a
the conditions.
month, date, and the year. You want to fight me?
No.
But why would you come up with such a
Did you guys go to the cinema
To do what?
to watch that Taylor Swift movie?
To Era tour.
I don't know what it was called.
There's a Taylor Swift movie.
Yeah, I'm also getting shot like
You're a fake Swiftie.
Are you talking about something similar to what Beyonce did for Homecoming, but now?
Ulienda?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Mbona?
Mm-mm.
No.
Not my cup of tea.
Speaking of cups of tea.
Yeah.
Sips tea.
Hi guys, welcome back to this week's episode. Little introduction.
Owen.
Kori.
Konene.
Anuntulo, the sharpshooter. He was from which Nini? He was from which tribe?
Yeah.
So that I see who's been listening to the podcast. Guys don't even listen to your
I'm the
content.
podcaster. The content I give.
No, I
But I
listen,
think he
but I
was
don't,
from-
Nini.
Samburu?
Close enough.
If it's not Samburu, I'm confusing.
Nuko West Pokot Mali Uko.
Yeah.
So he was a sharpshooter. And he aided them. Okay. Tutaanza kufanya revision. Next episodes.
Kumaka.
Nione nani umekuwa akisikiza. So very quickly, we'll not have a would you rather question today. I want you guys to think in the last decade, which is until 2014, which day would you want to relive and why?
Day or just, can I say a month?
Okay.
December 2019.
December 2019.
Yeah.
That's
By
the
the
first.
the sherehe for December 2019. No, it was 27.
No, sherehe for December 2019 before COVID. That was that sherehe. Yo. That was
I think it's because you're looking at it with all the nostalgia of now, what has happened after COVID.
Okay, for me, I'm looking at it as I had finished school. I didn't have classes. I didn't have work. I was working from home. So I had so much free time to myself. That's when now I started doing things like go hiking, piga
Nice.
sherehe during the day. That was a weird one, but yeah. Every day there was a plot because people were just idle waiting for jobs, and you still have that small money that you get after your graduation present. So have a lot to piga sherehe with. Yeah.
It's been nice.
Okay.
It was.
Fantastic. Kori?
I need time to remember.
As always, I live every day like it's my last. I don't
Mother
have
ni
any
Jehovah.
particular
No.
day I go back to.
Why?
The conditions for this response are very clear. I need a month and a year.
Yeah, they
Or
clear
a
the conditions.
month, date, and the year.
Oh, okay. On the top of my head, I think I'd pick September 23rd, 2023.
Oh,
September 23rd, 2023.
that was a good day.
It was, it's a day after my birthday. We had my sister's gig, and then her graduation.
Your sister's gig.
Her graduation party.
Yeah.
And there's this thing I brought at home or started on, at least. I mean, we're only 5, so if I say I was a pioneer, there are only 5 people, it sounds a bit. Anyways, I was a pioneer, to each their own. Where we, at least at the very least, try cut cake for someone's birthday. So I asked my mom randomly, why is it that we never cut cake on my birthday? Her response was, because you're never in the house. So this was the last year. So this was the previous year. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I was in the house alone the entirety of my birthday. I intentionally did not go anywhere. I was like, okay, I'm a patient man. I'll wait for next year. So this was now the said next year. and we didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, I met you guys at like 10 p.m.
Yeah, I
something
remember. I
of the sort.
remember.
So what they had intended to do was surprise me the following day during my sister's graduation. You came after we had cut the cake. So
Oh yeah, and then there's that famous GIF of you just tired.
yes.
You see, when I told you these people have their own inside jokes and they left out.
Did we shoot that day? I think we shot that day. We shot some episodes that day.
I actually did.
Yeah.
I mentioned.
Yeah, but
you
I-
had stuff.
But I wasn't invited. To
I
the
did invite you
graduation.
at the pod. I did invite both of you at the podcast. But you had someone you had to be mans and all, if you can remember.
Good old days.
So, yeah, because you remember we hadn't slept.
Yeah.
So we hadn't slept. We all hadn't slept. We were all exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was that episode
Yes, that was that episode.
of brushing teeth and
brushing
milk.
teeth and what did she say? Was that the cement crack episode?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was. It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in and around that. So the reason the day is special was now, okay, let me fast forward it. So I've taken now my sister's gifts to the car and stuff like that. And all of a sudden everyone is calling me. People are looking for me. I'm like, why is it that all of a sudden everyone is looking for me? So I'm like, calls. I'm like, is someone dying? And I'm not a doctor, even if someone were to die or was dying.
You can only save them as a PDF.
Man. And it depends because you guys keep on giving me shit for my phone. Probably I can't even do that. So when I come back to the venue, I find there's a surprise cake. And for the life of me, I was so shocked. I cast out. I was like, oh, bloody hell. And everyone just laughed because I was like, and they're like, so you thought you forgot. We forgot. So it's, if I could pick one, it was a very warm day in its entirety. A lot of joy and happiness.
You see how much depth you get when you start being specific.
No.
You see even how she just went into a whole trance of just feeling nice woman, googly.
But you said you forced me to be specific. There's no particular day. Genuine. I live every
Shut
day
up.
like it's my last.
Kori.
Mine would be 26th April 2021.
Ooh.
A friend of mine just thought today is a good day to celebrate me for no reason, apparently. So they bought me cake, took me out, and just we had a good time. It was that simple.
Friend of friend.
My boyfriend at the time.
Hey.
Like for no
Is he
reason.
single right now?
Ako wapi?
Hey, Konene.
Yeah.
Hey.
No,
Mtu akuje tu afikirie siku moja. It's Konene's day.
imagine though,
You
like
guys, you won't breathe.
By the way, guys, imagine it's that simple.
just cake
So
and
that's
a
simple.
good conversation. That was it.
Aww.
Good conversation, of course.
Why did you break up?
Good conversation, of course.
Story for another day.
Okay.
Yourself?
For me, it'll have to be the week of, actually, not the week, it was that entire month, although it had its ups and downs. April 2017, around Easter period, and post-Easter period. I had the privilege of going to Spain and Portugal. So there was a pilgrimage. It was a spiritual journey. You know, being a practicing Catholic, it was something that I had done twice before, but I had not deeply understood what that meant to me. And I think that trip really shaped how it is that I practice my faith, because that's one of the places, I sat down and I was like, how many Catholics are there in Kenya and how many have gotten the opportunity to do something like this? To those who more is given, more is expected from them. So to some extent, I really did not want to fail myself. And I had a long prayer list, and I remember at some point doing the rosary for my girlfriend at the time, who showed me Shage that same month. Prayers were answered very express. Lord, if this person is not for me, when you make that prayer, you don't even think twice. By the time I was landing, I realized, this person was not the one for me. But over and above that, there was football every single day, watching live games. So, for me, oh my God, seeing Cristiano close the window of his car in close proximity like this, my God, as a 18, 19-year-old. And then that's when I realized the fanaticism of of football in Europe. Because the way where the Santiago Bernabeu is, where the players exit, there are two ways. So, and the coaches as well. So everybody's driving out in their, R8, whatever car it is. Maybe today I've come with my Bugatti because I can. And there was an option of going right and going left. So Zidane, who was the coach at the time, goes left. And then pale kwa traffic lights zikaenda red. Watu kakimbia, nikaona tu msee amerukia rufu ya gari yake. Na ameshikilia na hataki kuenda. So the light goes green and he needs to go, but there's people all over his car asking for autographs and signing, so the cops had to come and beat people. So it's a very wild scene. But yeah, so that entire month, all the football that happened, it's when I fell in love with Dybala's playing style. It's a beautiful month for me. We'll leave it again. 10 out of 10. Anyway.
Now I have a question, but I feel like we'll deviate from the topic.
Just ask the question. I'll answer it.
You see now how you explained how people went all over his car and they were just shouting and screaming and just begging for... Do you think we idolize these people too much?
Yes, to some degree. But when you think about it, pop culture and celebrity culture, it's more of these people, that chase for perfection that we were talking about in a previous episode, these people have more or less devoted their lives to that. And they're at the peak of it. And watching them do what they do brings so much joy. Like you'll sit down and you listen to Eminem rap and you'll be like, damn. Or you listen to Kendrick just tear Drake apart and you'll be like, this guy has really put his thought, like everything is so interconnected because he's put in the house. So it's something that elicits so much joy and happiness in you. So the thing is, because that feeling is intangible, you attach the experience they give you to the person. And that's why they say never meet your heroes, because you see, outside of that area of expertise, this person can be a bongolala. Kapsa. Mm. So there's that instance. Which reminds me, topic of the episode today, toxic traits in the workplace. I've heard, I don't know if I should start. It might take up all the time. So let's start. Let me throw these questions to you guys.
I think I can start going from what you just said, where because a celebrity in their workplace are a certain way of perfection according to us, when they're outside the workplace, we expect them to behave
similarly.
Yes. That's a toxic thing that happens in my company. Like, how serious I am at the workplace is what they expect when they meet me in the supermarket in my Crocs and pajamas. If they see me doing sherehe, it becomes a whole topic, as if it's something that's supposed to be even had by the HR. But I was after office work hours. I am meant to enjoy my life. However, enjoy it is none of your business. But everybody makes it their business.
It becomes everyone's business. Yeah, that's true.
So you find yourself locked in the house 24/7, because if you just go out and meet someone from your company and in a certain manner that is not how they're used to, becomes a problem.
I feel two toxic traits that I've encountered in the workplace. Number one, people project their failures on you. And their failures not professionally, technically, but the inability to hold conversations without making the other person feel, weird or weirded out and stuff. So the projection, and what is the second one? A lack of boundaries. Okay, but then also it depends on where it is that you work. Because I think where it is that I work, there's, again, like you've put it, the boundaries are non-existent. And you're forced to put in this persona, this mask of who you are, that is not an embodiment of what you do outside. And to some extent, I feel like it, we tend to live dual lives so that we can tiptoe around other people's egos, because, okay, fine, I have a podcast. I'm sitting in a group with a fine-looking gentleman and fine-looking ladies.
Thank you very much.
And there'll be someone who'll look at this on YouTube and they'll be like, hey, say, he looks like he's living his life well. Then the projection comes. Mbono janipe report. And then it becomes a whole thing, That's an issue that's not really an issue. And so that projection, the lack of boundaries as well. We have a friend. We have a friend in the group chat who got texted by one of her managers. This long anti-WhatsApp texts. Ati, there's only one style of sex that will take you to heaven. Oral sex is bad. And it's a whole blab with accompanying videos and TikToks. You've not seen?
What?
Hey! Group.
Hold up. Okay. Is this a random topic that this woman decided to text, or is it coming from?
Hey!
Is it coming from something that happened?
No, it was just random. She just said, "Do you know this forwarded many times?"
Hold up. That could be sexual harassment.
That's the thing. Boundaries. Unaona sasa? Mnadhani mnazoeana. You feel the need that I can tell this person anything.
Yeah.
Another one would be same notion. Like, for example, you have a podcast, you have other things that you're going on in your life and you're very vocal about it. If anyone else in the office finds out, I've had an experience where I don't know how to call it, but they feel bad to see you doing well. So they'd always constantly put you down or try to put you in a box or put you in your place. In the office workplace, dynamics are different. They could be earning a lot more than management, but you have a lot more going on for you outside the workplace.
That fulfills your life more than...
So if they see that happening, they will know how to... Because they can, watakukalia kwa ofisi. And that hatred comes out of nowhere, no dream, but you realize they end up doing with so many people. I mean, it could still be on the point about
projection,
their insecurities, but that one thing actually really sucks.
I think I was sharing with Owen one time back that the one thing I'm struggling about being in this podcast is that my workplace uses things they see of you to define your character. So if I say something left, if I say maybe a toxic thing about the workplace and somebody saw this before maybe Monday, so on Monday would have a whole disciplinary action about it. Mind you, ini kitu umefanya nje ya office.
This does not.
I haven't even mentioned.
You're not in the same company.
I haven't even mentioned the company, but iko too. Like even if they found this podcast before they interview you, and you are probably among those people they had thought they would choose for the job, that would be the one thing that would make you fail that interview because you're too vocal and they want someone who's
But then, okay, I feel like there's also a line. Are you a representative for the company when, would the job maybe need you to be the face of the company to know?
Yes.
It would.
Yes.
Oh yeah, by the way, I saw LinkedIn. You're doing really well, by the way.
Stop it!
I saw the post and I was like, yeah, I have friends in high places. It was fantastic to see.
Thank you.
Because now she works in Naivasha, so
Yeah.
Thank you. There's a new one coming out tomorrow.
Fantastic. Keep
tomorrow, Monday. I'm excited.
Keep at it, man. It's good work. It's really good work.
I was channeling my RJ when I was writing that. Because the writer of the group.
Anyway, as you give us your contribution, let me throw a spanner in the works. Do you guys think that the work culture has never been transferred well enough or healthily enough?
Actually, I think then it's like you read my mind, because I wasn't to give a toxic trait. I was to give an understanding of how I've understood the workspace since I was a kid. I remember my parents always would come and chime in and would be like, workplaces are like over glorified high schools or schools, just that people are way, way older and they earn money. You see, remember, in a work setting, you guys are forced to be together a whole lot of the time.
40 hours of your week?
Yes. For those ones who did. Minimum, yeah. I know the people who are living well, the people who do minimum 20, minimum 10.
Anyway, NGO.
So you find, you see, it's not like like how we are a band of mishats or misfits that have decided to come together and do this together. So there's that. So you find the easiest way I could describe it is, which is so funny, it's such a paradox. For the fact that people are professionals, they lack the professionalism.
True.
In that, you see those, instead of bringing, so people try or attempt to bring personas to work, which should work because we're not friends, we're colleagues and stuff and all of that. But because we spend so much time with each other, our true selves come out. So remember, again, you're in competition with these people. You're not competing with your wife. You're not competing with your kids. All right? And if you brought a healthy relationship, your kids should then also compete with one another. Like, for example, you have 6 siblings. I've never seen you guys compete over, I mean, of course, yeah, there's camaraderie and healthy competition and stuff. That's human nature. So you find people bring that. So they'll bring out their insecurity. So that lack of emotional maturity that they have. And then it's not coming from a point of love because you guys don't actually have to be friends or don't have to actually like one another.
True.
So we've never, so when you're talking about that healthy relationship, it's never been there.
Yeah.
So up until you find emotionally intuitive, emotionally aware CEOs or heads of HR, and it flows out through the entire organization.
Yeah.
Now, so that's why you keep on finding a lot of organizations really invest a lot of money in training people on better leadership and good leadership, is because that's what flows down. Like, for example, we used to work for the same place. I don't think there's at any one point in time, and we work in professional services, we're always supposed to be pinned against one another. I don't think we've ever had an issue of XYZ, I mean, being commended for this or XYZ being promoted or XYZ. We've never had that discussion, you see, because of the mentality. But you see, to them, our Gen Zs or this late millennials, like this, they work differently, as opposed to some of the people we've worked with and some of the mannerisms. Because, like, for example, when you spoke about us being at a podcast, remember that day where I had a call in the middle where we were chiming, where we did it during the work week and
oh,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah, where just everyone kept on like, you must not have enough work for you to be able to still have time to do a podcast. I'm like, the weekend is my time. It's not yours. The evenings are my time. It's not yours. You guys are borrowing into my time. And you speak up for yourself. Of course, we all know how that ended up and where I am, how I am, where I am.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And yeah, so it's quite something. So I think that the problem with workplaces is just people bring out who they are without intending to bring out who they are. Because eventually you can only pretend for so long. Because 40 hours is it's a bloody long time. Because technically speaking, you're spending more time with your colleagues than you do with your spouses.
That's the thing.
So
that gives me the question of,
dangerous.
Why can't we be friends with colleagues and probably date them? Because remember, these are people you're spending half your life with. And then there's a whole policy of, or there is a whole societal thing that says your colleague is not your friend. I hate that thing.
To add another fact on top of that question, I'm sure I posted recently about LinkedIn opening another platform now called LinkedIn Love.
yeah.
Because the idea is professionals are spending more time with each other, and especially because of work from home situation, even dating can seemingly pass because you're not in the same office space with these people. So you end up just interacting. As far as project management tool is concerned, that's the only time you need to talk to person next from that other department. Or so now the work culture is changing, and it hopefully would allow for office dating in a healthy environment.
I'm not advocating for it, but I think it should, like, people should give the grace for people to do so, because I mean, again, the amount of time we spend with each other, you're bound to make relationships out of people.
No, most definitely. If you guys are spending the same amount of hours doing the same number of tasks in a day, trying to achieve the same purposes, like we want to bring in more customers, so you guys are meeting the same people, so you're speaking the same language. There's a lot of similarities that come up.
Synchronization.
Yeah, you guys sync to some degree and you start thinking like the same person. So anyway, but I think to sum it up, this projection and boundary thing that we've identified as the major toxic trait in the workplace, outside of whatever discussions we've had before, I think COVID did a really good thing because now you have a generation of people who do not ascribe to that nonsense that existed before.
Yeah.
And even locally, I think one thing that we also do not give much attention to and don't, consciously think about is the colonization and its effects. Because now, when the white person is, they're the ones who started the firm, he's the guy who is the chairman of Stanchart, the MD of Stanchart is a white person, the manager maybe is a white person, then you have an assistant manager who's a black person. That assistant manager probably took a lot of shit from the manager, the CEO, and stuff like that. Then that manager transferred it now to the first class of 844. This first class of 844 comes and they're like, even you guys, you'll suffer and stuff like that.
This
and
is how work is done.
Yeah, and this is the workplace and stuff like that. And I think they're also trained to fear government. That's one thing that's very prevalent that I've seen. So you fear authority, do not question it and whatnot. And then now COVID happens and me and you are the same. We're here for the same purpose. And so I feel prospectively it will change because we're the ones who become the managers. We are the ones who understand the Gen Zs, the importance of mental health in the workplace, the importance of being honest about who you are as a person, how it is that you're feeling as well. Bringing your whole self to work is very important. Let me see that you're a liar. Let me know that you're a liar so that I know when you tell me you've done half the report, I know you've not done anything. But I also know
that when you do it,
you will do a fantastic job. Yeah. So you have the entire timeline, so you figure it out. Hey.
I know we're supposed to be ending, but it has reminded me of that tweet where somebody said, have you ever actually had your girlfriend in a work meeting? Like, he was describing how it was so absurd. Like, how can this human being who always acts very tiny and wimpy become so professional and is calling the shots and is giving people orders over there? Like, he stood at the doorway for 10 minutes wondering, who the hell is this person in my house?
Anyway.
Which is true. Like, huwezi kuwa professional kwa workplace na kuwa professional nje.
That's true.
To finish that, I think it's the thing I'm realizing even from our previous episode is human beings struggle with the fact that, like I keep on bringing this, and it's why I answer things in the manner that I do. We are very complex entities, very complex beings. So the way Kori relates to Konene, I relate to Konene, there could be different facets of Konene.
Yeah.
So it's important. I think it's pertinent to us to remember that and then of course you can't do that with everyone as well. You don't have the emotional bandwidth and you get tired. So for the people that matter to you, that you remember they're holistic people, like it's more than that. So
yeah. Great. Thanks guys. Please let us know in your workplaces what is one toxic trait that seems to have been prevalent. Please try not make it ultra specific because maybe your manager is going to see it and then it's going to cause more problems. But yeah, have fun, go at it. Let us know what you think about their episode as well. Like, share, subscribe, share it with a friend as well, and have that conversation with them, because it's only in continuously having these conversations can we actually start to purposely make a change. Yeah. Thanks guys. See you in the next one.
Cheers.